Hey, I'm live. I hope I can be heard. I hope everyone's having a good Thursday. I hope everybody's Thursday is Thursdaying today. Um, I'm April. I am a self-discovery coach. I help women in business to build a business that's based on their current identity through through a self-discovery practice. It's the end of the week. We're calling it Friday Eve. That's just because I want to say Friday, and I don't want to think that it's Thursday right now, because I mean like it's more Friday, it's like more day tomorrow, but at least it's a holiday weekend, so we get that today. Welcome and welcome in. If you are a woman in business, building a business, growing a business, starting a business, I specialize in helping women to create a self-discovery practice, which is a I like to call it a reason to pause, a reason to stop trying to do all the things and just get real clear on what really matters, what's important, what you don't like, and that being the priority, right? And not just doing things just to be doing things. I'm gonna be here for a couple minutes about ways I believe you can go about building a self-discovery practice, things that I've done, um, a little bit about my story, a little bit about my current offer, which is just it's a $27 guide that helps you to sit down and just really get started on getting back to who you are as a woman, as a business owner, getting back to what matters to you, what matters for you in this life. And yeah, that's what I'm talking about in this live today. Again, I hope everybody Thursday is Thursdaying, and thank you for joining. Um, I don't do lives on schedule in a consistent manner. Usually I do them like every couple of weeks, but I'm gonna try to do a live every day. Um, just because I do want to share. I do care about my mission. I care about uh just getting a message out there to women like me who want to build something meaningful. This is not a live, this is not a community. My products are not for people who don't care how they make money. Like, if you don't care how you make money, you don't care if it, you know, what you do every day, if it just does not matter to you, you are in the wrong place. Because I don't teach that here. That is not how I give it up. I help women who want to build meaningful businesses. I help women who want to build businesses that create impact, make money, but mean something to them. And thank you for joining, everyone. Thank you for being here. And I started my journey into personal development many, many years ago. Um, and I found that that was kind of like self-discovery was kind of like an offshoot of that. And I came about self-discovery being a strategy or looking at it as the foundation to starting a business because I probably tried everything, right? When I started out on my entrepreneurial journey, again, many, many moons ago, I would just do anything. I'm like, you know what? I don't like this job. I just want to make some money. I would start off on a path, all kinds of opportunities, all types of trendy things that's like, come make money. And I'm thinking like, oh, I can make some money. That's easy. And for me, a lot of the times when I would get into programs, and I've spent thousands on programs to create courses to on marketing, on this, that, all the stuff that I thought would be my way out of corporate, right? And all of these courses were valuable. I don't think I've ever purchased something that I was like, oh my God, I didn't get results. They lied. Never, never. They never lied, right? They had a system. They said if you follow this system, you can make money. What I found was it wasn't the system, it was me, right? It's not you, it's me kind of thing. I got into these programs. I would try to work the system. I would try to get into all of the things and do all the things they tell me to do. And once I hit a roadblock, I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this. And at the time, I thought, well, maybe it's the program or I don't want to do it that way. And it could have been a number of those things. And I know a lot of us out here, a lot of y'all out here, y'all do the same thing. Somebody says, oh, you can make some money. We got this program. Boom, boom, boom. Go ahead and, give us this money and we're gonna teach you how to make millions. It does work for some people. It works with people who actually want to do it. And I got involved I did like copywriting, because I love to write. I love to come up with ideas, which is what copywriting actually is. It's more than just writing. It's like creative idea writing for sales and market. It's a whole thing. Like it's a whole thing. I studied that again, how to create courses. I did, I believe, all kinds of writing courses again because I thought I wanted to write, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do whatever writing courses came up, creative writing, marketing writing. Like I took all of that because I wanted to start a business. And the only problem with that was I chased the opportunity. I went after the thing and not and did not really consider, is this something I actually want to do, or am I just chasing the bag? Am I just trying to get the money? And I realized I was just trying to chase the money because when I hit a roadblock, I was gone. I was done. I was like, I'm not trying to overcome this just to make money, right? And that's how people make it seem like you can just make money doing anything. That's not true, right? That's not true. Number one, it's time wasting, right? I've been making six figures for 10 years. No, 9 years in corporate. And a lot of it, I have children, right? I have obligations. So immediately my responsibility is to my family, right? Is to make sure they have what they need. And a lot of what I wanted to do, I kind of pushed that to the side. And I said, well, I'm making money. About maybe 2 or 3 years ago, maybe, um, possibly more, probably around 2020, because I think I was on the cusp of trying to leave corporate, but then COVID. So I pushed that back because I'm like, I don't even know if the world is about to end. Like, it's crazy out here. And I kind of just got caught in the cycle of I got to take care of my family. So I'm not about to leave a job and act like I got some big idea and I'm about to make some money from entrepreneurship. I just didn't believe that then. So I kept my job. And most people would say, yo, you making all that money. How you not happy? Once again, I do not care how you make money. If you do not enjoy what you do, if it doesn't mean anything to you, it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. It's going to be heavy on your spirit. It's going to be heavy on your heart. It's going to be heavy on your bank account. It's just going to, at some point, it comes to a point. Got that from my daughter. She walks around the house saying that all the time because she's in her 20s. And these 20 somethings, they just say things. They say the same things over and over. Her new thing is, it just came to a point. And it just comes to a point where it can't just be about money, 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 money. because I make the money in my corporate job, right? I make $6,000, $8,000 a month on any given job, any given contract that I do. I don't want to do that work. I don't want to work with those people. This work doesn't mean anything to me, but this is my life. This is my time just going out the drain. So again, I don't care what you do for money. If it's something that, if it doesn't mean anything to you, it's going to be soul draining, it's going to be time wasting, and it's not sustainable, right? And so where that comes in with your business is, why would you create a business like that? Why would you create a business around everything you don't want? It's literally like you're leaving your job to create a business. That's a job. Because now you don't even want to go, you don't want to do your business because it's being run in a way that is not true to you. It's not natural to you. It's not something that you actually like. It's not according to your values. It does not honor your strengths, right? It does not, it's not something that you're really interested in. You're just doing it because it's popular. It's trendy. And that is what I work with clients around, is taking the pause to be able to look at your values, assess your strengths, right? Assess your passions and see what it's just natural to you, like what you have. It's literally the study of you. It's just studying you, right? And those are the kinds of things that, like, I use different tools. I right now I have the $27 guide that kind of walks you through your values, your passions, and your strengths. Um, Great questions to kind of just guide you through what you like, what matters for you and what really matters to you. Um, and that's just a great start. That's just a great place to start. Um, and after, again, working a job for years that I didn't want, trying entrepreneurial things that I tried honestly just because I thought it was gonna make me some money. Again, I hit a roadblock and it was done. Um, and I was like, okay, what's wrong? What's really going on? And I realized that I was very, very, very money centric. And a lot of us, we can't help it, right? If you come from poverty, right? I come from Section 8 and food stamps and all that fun stuff, right? Where money actually does matter. Like, you can't just walk around here doing stuff just because you love it. Like, that is not how I was raised, right? I was raised to go get that good job because, you don't want to be up on the welfare line. You don't want to, you know what I mean? So I get it, right? I get where the mentality comes from. It comes from a scarcity mindset. But like I always tell, like, I'll tell anybody, you really can't help where you come from, but you can help where you're going. And that's just what it is. Also, it's probably going to be hard. That's why you don't see a lot of people doing it. It's hard. This is hard. It's hard to confront generational curses. It's hard to break them. Once you see it going on, it's hard to break them. It's not going to be easy, right? Similar to, you know, I see making money in ways that you don't want to make money in as a form of debt, right? And like, debt as far as money goes, it's the same change you have to make in that area as well, right? You have to change your behavior, right? Because that's the only thing about debt. Debt is not, debt is the way to cure debt, just like the way to cure debt in your life, as far as like the time you're wasting, the things that you're doing that you don't love. You have to change your behavior. And I think the first thing to start with is just stop chasing things that don't matter to you, thinking that you're going to be wealthy. in that area. It's just never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. Um, so again, I create self-discovery products. I work with women specifically to really look at, to really study themselves. I just teach you how to study yourself. I teach you how to do a deep dive into who you are, what you want, and really honoring that, right? Because that's one of the roadblocks that I went through with studying, with self-study for myself, with when I started to use tools and things like that to do self-discovery. I found out some things. But again, one thing as a woman, we we do weird things. Like we'll find out all the stuff, right? We'll do the assessments, we'll do the journaling, we'll do the all that stuff. And once we learn all these things, immediately we reject it, right? We reject it, and not because we don't like it, we just don't feel like it's other people are gonna like it, right? We feel like it's not marketable, right? We're like, well, here are my passions. These are my strengths. This is what I bring to the table. Here's my experience. Here's my past, right? Things that I've done, things that I've been through. Somehow, none of that is valuable to us. And that's part of what I teach and what I believe is just creating value around that, value around who we already are, what we already bring to the table, what's already in us. And that's what I mean by stop chasing. Like, stop trying to find your purpose and your mission outside of you because it's just not outside of you. It's you sitting down and taking that pause, right? I call it a pause for power, right? And the reason why it's so powerful is because you're not supposed to do it. Everybody wants you running around acting crazy. They want you running around chasing your tail, right? They want you to, you know, be very, very busy. People like to see you busy. They're like, if you're not doing all of this stuff, right, then you're not really doing nothing. So I call it a pause for power, right? Stopping, stopping all the doing and just sit down and just figure out what's going on inside, right? And again, I see self-discovery as a business strategy. I do not think self-discovery is some luxury, you know, most people think when I say it, self-discovery, they automatically think, oh, is that some soft life stuff? No, like it's literally infrastructure. It's where you build from. It's how you create your foundation. Just imagine if you created a house with a foundation that was missing whatever it is that they put under there, the concrete, the wood, whatever. And you're like, yeah, I'm not gonna put that section on there. I'm just gonna throw the house over here and put the house on it. It's not, I mean, I left some wood out, but it's cool. That's, yeah, it's like that. Women are out here building businesses that the foundation of it is not, they're not even connected to. And that's what self-discovery does, especially as a business strategy. It allows you to connect to your business in a way that is personal, building it in a way that means something to you. And in that way, you bring people towards your business that, you know, that are a lot like you or believe the same things that you believe, right? So I do think self-discovery is infrastructure. I think that it's currency, right? Like because it brings clarity, right? And clarity prints money. Decision making prints money. Self-trust prints money. Consistency prints money. But you can have clarity. You can't make decisions properly. You can't trust yourself fully. or be fully consistent if you are just unclear about everything, right? If you're just chasing money and not stopping to say, okay, do I even like what I do? Do I even like the people that I serve? Like, do I even like this? Right? Um, and confusion is just expensive, right? You spend money on things that you probably shouldn't spend money on trying to find answers, right? It costs you your momentum. It costs you confidence, right? It costs you opportunities. And again, knowing, sitting down and actually going through your values, assessing your strengths, really doing a deep dive into yourself, it allows you to be able to choose things that fit, right? One thing about having that type of clarity, which a lot of us don't have, is some things are either a clear yes or a clear no, right? Like your no's get very clearer and very fast, and your yeses get very clearer and they get very fast. Because I can look at something right now, doing as much self-discovery as I've done, creating that type of practice as a budding entrepreneur. Um, I see things and I'm like, no, like immediately no. I don't have to hem and haw. I don't care how much money they say it makes. I don't care what they say. Oh, well, you can just do immediately no. And I don't care. I don't feel like I'm missing out because I already know. Here's what I'm about. Here's how I give it up. This is my leadership style. This is how I like to work. These are the types of people I would like to work with. Um, these are the, how can I say it, the needs, right, in my personal life, right? Like I have 5 children, I have a husband. I enjoy my home life, right? I don't want to be on the road nowhere with nobody. So I wouldn't build a company, right, where I have to travel a lot. I'm not gonna build that into my business model because I barely want to go anywhere. Um, I'll go, right, for meaning, but naturally, even as a tourist, it has to mean something, right? Or it means nothing. And so again, not understanding and or being confused about what you offer, what you should offer, um, who you are, who you want your clients to be, it just costs you a lot of money and it costs you momentum and it costs you confidence because you don't know what to do. You don't know what to offer. You don't know if it's a clear yes or a clear no, right? Um, because what I find is that most women don't have a business problem, right? They have an identity problem and it shows up inside their business. Um, and I lived that for years, right? Like I went back to school in my 30s, right, with 4 kids. At the time, I had 4 kids, um, because the plan was I'm gonna get 2 degrees and I'm gonna get this six-figure job. That was the plan because I had mouths to feed. As much as I wanted to start my own business, which I have since I was like in my 20s, I was like, I'm just gonna get this degree and I'm gonna get this six-figure job and boom, boom, boom. From the outside, it looked like a success story, right? It looked like a success story, making thousands a month in IT, you know, just being able to just afford life for once. But internally, the more time I spent, I started feeling disconnected from myself. I knew what I really wanted to do. I knew how I wanted to live my life. I just didn't think it was possible. And I didn't know what I wanted to do because I never sat down and thought about it. I just did stuff. I just did stuff. It's like I'm just gonna throw spaghetti at the wall and I'll whatever. And I could have saved a lot of money and a lot of time if I would have just sat down and said, okay, what is it do I like? What do I want? And who am I? Who am I in relation to what I want? Where's the gap, right? What do I value? What is my leadership style? How do I want my life to look on a daily basis? Not what should it look like based on somebody else's stuff. And that's a big thing in self-discovery. The more self-discovery you do, the less you give a shit about what everybody else is doing. That's the way they do it. That's how they run their business. That's what they want. That's not what I want, right? And you start to be, again, more self-directed when you know who you are and what you want. But the only way you find that out is if you actually sit down and take the time to figure this out. Um, so again, did the whole degree thing, did the whole go make six figures thing, and one day I realized that I spent years, right, learning how to survive, right? I wasn't learning myself. I was just learning how to survive. And again, it looked like a success story. And I hate that it looked like a success story because it never felt like a success story. It just felt like, well, I mean, take care of these kids though. And I remember one day when they all got older, like they was all, had to be like the oldest one probably was 15, 16 years old. And I was talking to them about my job, and I was like, like I just do this work so I can make sure that, I keep a roof over your head. And, I have good kids. And they like, listen, we don't need you to do that. They're like, we won't want you to do that. And I'm like, it really occurred to me. I'm like, that's crazy. Like that they told me themselves. They was like, he's like, you don't need to do that for us. He's like, you only live once. He's like, you don't need to do that. He's like, you do what you want to do. He's like, we'll be okay. And I'm like, "Mm." And then I have a supportive spouse. I don't care what I say I'm gonna do. He like, yeah, you could do it. I'm like, I'm gonna go to the moon tomorrow. And he's like, okay, what do you need me to do? So I never had it where I didn't have support, right? I just did not know enough about myself to be able to make those moves, right? So what changed a lot for me is just, again, taking that pause, a pause for power is what I'm calling it. Taking that pause for power. And I created, at the time, I didn't know it was a creation, right? But it's a framework called VPS. It's like GPS, right? It's values, passions, strengths. And I put it in the guide, link in bio. I put it in the guide, and but before it was actually, an actual framework, I realized I was like, I have to sit down and figure this out. And I said, what do I value? Not what I want to value. What do I value? And that was the first thing. And I realized that I value comfort and a steady paycheck over creativity and or personal creativity and honoring my personal gifts and personal projects and honestly trusting God to lead me in the way that I really wanted to go. Like if I wanted to build a business, like I trusted God for a job, hardcore. Never trusted God to in my business or in my business endeavors. So there were a lot of things that I valued and I was living the life that I value. And that's what people don't understand. They say, oh, I value this, that, and the next. However your life looks are the things that you value. Your bank account, the clothes you wear, where you live, type of relationships you have. That is what you value, for better or for worse. And just understanding that, looking at what you value and really looking at values in people that you admire, because that's what you do in the guide. You kind of just pick three people and you write down what is it that attracts you to them. Like, what is it they do that you would like to put into your life, right? And it allows you to have, I want to say, have goals. Look, have values goals. Because sometimes it's about really looking at what you value and saying, well, I've been valuing the wrong thing, right? Like I value sleep over, putting in those extra hours after work to build this business. Like what's more important to me is just going to sleep. And then I'm like, but I do want this business. I want to build this business. Yeah, not really. You want to take a nap. And I know you tired. I'm tired all the time. All the time. But it comes to a point. I told you that earlier in this live. It just comes to a point, right? Um, so and the next thing is your passions, right? And the BPS model is your passions, which is in this guide. And I call it interest, and it's really just looking at what you're interested in, right? What pulls you? What do you gravitate towards? Even on social media, in your real life, what do you gravitate towards and why? Like, why those things? How can you bring those things into your business or build a business around them? Or just in some kind of way. I look at that. Um, and then your strengths. You can go take assessments, strengths finders, DISC, whatever. Um, I have that in my flagship program in my 297 program. I have a module for that. But really looking into your strengths as a whole, like where are you strong at and how can you use that in your business, right? So yeah. Um, so what we're trying to do is stop chasing. We are trying to be the bag. We are trying to learn ourselves, um, position ourselves in a position of power, in a position where we can make decisions and create businesses around what really matters to us. And the first step, I believe, in doing that is really sitting down and thinking about what do I really want? Who am I? And what matters to me? Right? Um, because consuming more podcasts, taking more courses, saving TikToks, like all of that stuff, all of this busyness, um, it's nothing compared to just sitting down and studying you, right? And then also taking that and seeing the value in that, seeing the value in what you bring to the world, because only you can bring it. Like literally nobody else can. Um, but again, you can go get the guide if you like it. Thank you so much for joining, um, whoever is in the room. And I don't know. I'm gonna go start dinner. That's what I'm gonna go to. And again, remember to do not chase the bag, beat the bag, get the guide, or just sit down and just start talking to yourself. Use ChatGPT, whatever you need to do to figure out how to build a business that you love, build a business that means something to you, build a business that creates the type of impact that you want to create. I'm getting out of here. Bye, y'all.